Yeah, great, thank you. Yeah, maybe we switch spots so I'll be in the light. So you got your hair wet.
Yeah.
And do you do that every time you sauna?
I do.
And what's the theory with that for you?
Well, if your hair gets too hot, you can actually burn it.
Yeah.
So you want to keep it. Sometimes I use castor oil in my hair to protect it. So heat, going from hot to cold can make your hair a little bit weaker sometimes.
Agreed. It can also make it stronger, I think,
Yeah.
is my theory. And I always put it this way. Up at our cabin sauna, where I'll sauna, 4 times a week, maybe 5, whatever. From early June until about now, like late in the summer, in the fall, I never use shampoo or soap. Am I crazy?
No, the oils of your own hair are healthy.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly rinsing at least, some of the dirt off, it's actually not good to wash your hair too much.
Yep, agreed. So it's great we're here. I was thinking about today, Carrie, and how this moment is like, how many times have I said, oh my God, I wish I had this recorder, right? When we sauna together.
Most of the times.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, save that. So now is that time. We can chat, and the reason for wanting to have the recorder going and when we speak is you bring such a great perspective to sauna. I want to ask you, how you first got into sauna and all that, but before that, I want listeners to understand where you're coming from and what you do today. So if we could maybe just start right in with that is tell us how you got into what you're doing, and then tell us, listeners, of what you are doing.
Okay. So I got into what I'm doing sort of through my own illness, actually. But all my life I've been interested in health and wellness on some level. So I went to College of St. Catherine or St. Kate's for Dietetics and Nutrition Science. And then I quickly realized that it wasn't exactly the world I thought I was going to be in. It wasn't actually holistic healing. It was more Western ideology. And so I felt a little discouraged. And then I went to go ahead and do my master's in holistic nutrition and found a great place called University of Natural Health that was really, in alignment with my beliefs.
And where are they located?
They're actually an online school.
Yeah, great.
So it's great. Just move at your own pace. Oh. But it was nice because it had, everything that really aligned with my beliefs as I knew to be so far in my lifestyle. But I was practicing as a nutritionist, and just working and waitressing and doing multiple jobs in different facets. But throughout my path and throughout my journey, I started to become really ill, coming up into my early 30s, late 20s. And I was ill for several years, just not feeling well, low, lots of fatigue, belly bloat, weight gain, and then started with chronic dizziness and then thyroid issues. And eventually I was diagnosed with Hashimoto and Lupis. And I was diagnosed with early onset lupus, meaning they saw my antibodies for my Th1 and Th2 antibodies were over 481 at their highest, which they should be in ranges of 0 to 13. So that showed that I had Hashimoto. And then I had L1, L2 strands.
For listeners, can you explain what Hashimoto is?
Sure. Hashimoto, the concept in Western medicine is that it's an autoimmune disease with your thyroid and your parathyroid gland, and that your body is actually attacking its own tissue.
Yeah.
And eventually it will just shut down. And so you should be on medication the rest of your life. Wow. So I was put on steroids, Synthroid, synthetic thyroid, then they switched over to Armour thyroid. I was on several different steroids, testosterone cream and progesterone tablets because my body was not making its own hormones anymore.
And how long ago was that?
It was about 6 years ago.
About 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably hard to for me to ask you to relive a day in 6 years ago, but at its worst, or when you realized you needed some intervention, what was a day like for you at that time?
It was pretty crippling, to be honest. I felt like a failure as a parent. I couldn't get off the couch to take my kids to the park, and not because I was lazy or tired. It was like literally I couldn't sit up very quickly. My husband would have to help me go from laying down to sitting up because my medulla gland was so messed up that I would get equilibrium so bad that I would fall over or I'd black out.
Was there pain at all?
I was in chronic physical pain, like inflammation everywhere. I mean, my inflammatory markers were through the roof when I would get my blood done. Then they called it fibromyalgia, which I was like, I'm 30 years old. How do I have fibromyalgia? So everything hurt to touch, you know, like even my cycles as a woman got extremely uncomfortable and very heavy, which had never been before. So pretty much everything was just amplified. I was in chronic pain. I had chronic insomnia, which will make a person crazy.
I was going to ask you about that too. And how about anxiety or
severe anxiety and depression all came in with this, and I had never struggled with it any other time in my life. So I knew that this was not something genetic. This was not something that I've just that you just have, you know. So, you know, the doctors were saying like, well, we don't know why it happens. It just does. And so that was something I just really didn't believe in. Right. And so I just sought out my own healing. So
the Hashimoto diagnosis, you're on multiple medications. Take us forward from there. You know, 6 years ago now, you're trying the conventional way through drugs and stuff for relief, just for acute problems here, right?
Well, I was a little bit of a rebellious one from the start. I refused to do the testosterone cream. She told me if I rubbed it on the same place, my body would grow hair there, and I was like, well, that seems bizarre. So I always took the thyroid medication, and I took the steroids temporarily just to get me well enough to be able to take my kids to school, to take them to the park. So I did rely on that, and then I saw...
And it helped a bit.
A little bit. Like, not much. Like, a little bit. Like, I could get through the day. I could, you know, not worry about having to pick up my kids if I took a nap, you know. So it helped a little bit. But I started studying with rheumatologists and hormone specialists, and everybody just kept stacking more and more drugs on my plate. And I just broke down in tears, and I was like, this can't be it. This cannot be the rest of my life. I'm 30 years old. And so at that point, I just decided I was done with the Western side, and I had to go Eastern. I had to try something else because what I was doing wasn't working. And so I started seeing naturopathic doctors here in Minnesota. I flew out to Topanga, California. I worked with an energy healer and a naturopathic doctor there. I worked with like clay packing and mud bathing and all these things, and I did receive some relief.
Right.
But I was on like hundreds of dollars of supplements a month. So it was still like a Western approach to Eastern thinking. You know, it was like I was on an organic hydrochloric acid tablet versus like, I don't know, drinking whatever you would, Pepto-Bismol or something. So it was still the same approach, and it just wasn't resonating with me. And I felt my most defeated. One day I was having what they call a lupus flare, and my body from head to toe, you couldn't really touch my skin because it was in so much pain. And I was supposed to have a massage that day, and I was like, well, I obviously can't do that. It's not going to work. So I called and canceled the massage, and then something inside my being told me I needed to go. So I called back and said, I'm coming. And I showed up, and I told the girl, I'm really sorry. I have this condition called lupus, and my body hurts really bad. So I don't know what you're going to do, but I just knew I was supposed to be here. And that was my little God wink, or whatever you want to call it, little sign from the universe that I was in alignment. And she knew everything. She was like, oh, we'll just do some light lymphatic massage, bring it to your kidneys, drain it out. And I was like, how do you know all this? So she explained to me that she was a regenerative detoxification specialist, and that she had studied with Dr. Robert Morse at the International School of Regenerative Detox. And I was in between beyond skeptical and desperate. So I just drank up everything she had to give me, and I changed my life overnight. And I followed everything she told me to do, and within 14 weeks, I had a reverse diagnosis of Hashimoto. No inflammatory markers in my blood, nothing existed after that. And after that happened, I was like, I have to know all the things about this.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's, I think I'm more emotional about your story as you said it than you were sitting here on the sauna bench. But thank you for that. That was the beginning of a transition where you just wanted to know everything you could about this. Yeah. So what did you do? More research?
I did a ton more research, and I actually went to school with Dr. Robert Morse at the International School of Regenerative Detox. I took his level 1 and level 2 course, which made me a certified regenerative detoxification specialist. In addition to, I went into a holistic nutrition program, and now I'm actually enrolling in my PhD in naturopathy. So I've continued to learn and learn and learn. And then I took additional studies from somebody named Dr. Pesek, who runs the International Institute of Iridology, which is the ability to read the eyes and tell you what's happening inside your body. So after I was introduced to this world, it just became so obvious that there's so much out there that we just don't know, and that anything is possible in your body when given the right environment.
So fast forward to today, unless you want to fill in some more of those gaps. I mean, you're getting education and you're starting your practice at the same time, right?
At that time, yes. My practice is in full swing now.
Yeah.
I have a holistic clinic that I partner with a couple other holistic practitioners in South Minneapolis. I'm busy 5+ days a week, fully booked.
Hats off to you. You really can hold it all together. How old is Mia, your youngest?
Mila is 14 months today.
Yes, and we were talking off mic. You're still nursing, and you have this full-time practice, and you never, you're never short with time with your patients, I notice. You give them your all, and that must be hard. I mean, your day can fill pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
But you made it here on time. I mean, but you were a pro because you made it here on time for our sauna here together and sauna talk. Is it tough, or do you love it, or are things flowing well for you today, like with your practice and your life?
It's both. It's flowing great. It's like it was my dream. I never really believed that I could work full time in complete alignment with sharing health with the world, and I'm doing that now, and it's beautiful and it's amazing, but yes, it's hard. I work with a lot of people with autoimmune and heavy cancer and a lot of grief going on behind that, and a lot of really diligent detoxification work, and you feel the weight and the responsibility for these people's journey. So there is a lot of hours being put in, but I'm so passionate about what I do that I go to bed with that reward every day.
Beautiful. We're going to jump around a little bit. One of the things I thought we'd start with in terms of sauna and related to sauna is minerals. It's one of the things that we've had multiple conversations about. So I thought I'd start with, while we're a little fresh, unless you want to dive into minerals after a cool down, I'm totally flexible. We can start and then...
We can start.
Yep,
I'm
perfect, great. Now, hey, a word to listeners. Carrie is turned into a sauna pro. I mean, I asked that question because I wanted her comfortable in the hot room here. But she can definitely sauna with the pros. You've been enjoying sauna the last few months.
I love sauna.
Yeah. When did it first start for you, sauna? When did it come into your life? And if recent, that's totally cool.
It came into my life during my healing. So Dr. Morse talked a ton about the benefits of sauna, and specifically not infrared, but specifically steam and wood-fired sauna that you can, burn water on the rocks.
Yeah.
But talking about the benefits of your lymphatic system and the healing of your lymphatic system comes from being able to get your body at an internal temperature that can purge waste out of your cells.
Well, so let's dive into that. Let's slow that one down a second, because I think that's a really critical thing that actually deserves even more study and analysis. In a sauna, a hot room, our core body temperature is raised, right? Okay, and is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so the core body of your temperature raises, as well as your skin. Your skin is considered your third kidney. And so your kidneys are your main eliminative organ. And they are what eliminate all of your waste. So excess proteins, toxins, waste, what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe, and what you put on your skin is removed by the lymph, brought to your kidneys, and filtered through the urine. If you have kidney stagnation or weaker kidneys, your body will utilize your skin as a kidney.
Interesting. So they'll trade off a bit. They'll help each other.
Yeah, I mean, your body's always on your side. Yeah. So whatever symptom that you're having in your body is always a symptom of your body trying to maintain a neutral pH inside. So yes, your skin will help your kidneys if your kidneys are backed up. So acne is lymphatic waste coming through the skin. Eczema is kidney weakness coming through the skin. Dry, itchy skin is kidney weakness and lymphatic waste coming through the skin. So your body will just push and push and push. So the white...
Beautiful. You finish your sentences. Okay. You're doing great. I won't forget. Keep going.
The white flakes that you see on your dry skin is actually the flakes and the sediment that you should be seeing in your urine.
Interesting.
So if you have clear urine and flaky skin, your kidneys need some support.
So in the example of eczema, then going to a traditional skin doctor and all that, the patient will be treated for a skin problem. But if I'm hearing you right, the problem is really with the kidney. Yeah,
it's a kidney and lymphatic problem.
Yeah.
So when we go to a dermatologist or someone, they're going to give you a steroid cream, which is going to dumb down the symptoms and basically suppress the histamine that's being produced in your body. And your adrenal glands are in charge of the fight or flight, the rest and digest. They're in charge of cortisol production. They're in charge of all of the histamine. So the more we put steroids in our body or on our body, the more we suppress their function. So really the root cause of the skin issue is a kidney weakness.
I have a couple friends that have skin problems who have found sauna to be not just helpful, but like monumental in terms of improving their skin condition and that. So on face value, it could be said that the fact what we're doing right now, Carrie, the sweat, this purging, this cleaning of our pores of our skin is maybe the primary, but I'm reaching for a thought here that there is the secondary, this internal healing that's happening or improvements. So it's a 1-2 punch, maybe. This taking the pressure off the kidneys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a top recommended protocol when I have people going into healing is to get in a sauna and then a cold bath. Sauna, cold, back and forth. So you're not only healing the lymphatic system, but the lymphatic system is 80% of your body's fluid that lives underneath the dermis, right underneath your skin layer. And it purges waste through the skin. So there's that healing happening. So the waste is coming out and then you're rinsing it off.
Yes.
But on
a clean rinse, not soap rinse, but
just a clean rinse.
Natural flush through the pores being open from heat, right? Mm-hmm. All our pores, like uniformly. Not just if you're running, maybe your body temperature can go up some bit, but if you're, sometimes your feet or your legs are cold, but this is a uniform heat that is opening all of the pores of our skin equally.
Correct.
Yeah, and so what better way to clean than a clean rinse, a flush, a fresh shower, or jump into a cold lake?
Exactly. And so there's a couple things happening. There's the skin cleaning, the lymph cleaning, but also you're aiding your kidneys and getting waste out so they aren't so overwhelmed with how much waste they're trying to do if you're in the middle of a detox. So you're giving your body a little break.
Yep. And you answered that very well. There is a minor question of, can you detox in a sauna? And the whole infrared marketing craze is yes. And ironically, so on face value, the answer is arguably no, because we're just cleaning the pores of our skin. But Carrie has taken this to, pardon the pun, a deeper level, and that the answer is yes, because of the kidney improvement and less strain on the kidney through flushing through the skin.
Correct. Yep, 100%. So you're just alleviating the kidneys from their hard workload and allowing your lymph to become, when your kidneys stop filtering, your lymph becomes like, if you can visualize a pond or a swamp that has stuff growing in it or moss, that is something you wouldn't get in swim. And that's what the majority of our lymphatic systems look like, especially when we aren't draining properly through the kidneys. So this gives the opportunity for that pond to purge and become more like a lake and the flowing and getting rid of mucus and getting rid of bacteria and viruses and antigens. Totally.
So this is the clinical or medical advantage of the clean rinse, the cold plunge, the thermogenesis from a lot of heat and a lot of cold.
And the expansion and contraction of your cells.
Right. Expansion and contraction of your cells. Mm-hmm. Anything else come to mind? You want to talk about maybe the opening of the pathways, through circulation, the hot and cold benefit that way, through cardiovascular, the pulse and any other thoughts about sauna besides the cleansing, which is so critical? I mean, get it.
Everything sauna is doing is opening up the 5 systems of flow. And so the 5 systems of flow are lymphatic flow, arterial and venous blood flow, lymphatic flow, nervous system flow, and chi, your overall energy. So it's constantly in movement. Your heart is pumping faster. You're getting like what you would in a cardiovascular workout without the strain on your body, without the stress. And so with everything flowing better, and we have to remember that our body isn't Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. We don't get signals just zapped to our brain. They actually transport via the blood, via hormones, and via the nerve myelin sheath. So we're actually increasing that flow and that productivity in the body when we're in the sauna.
Putting you on the spot, sauna, good for this system. Sauna plus cold plunge, or the clean rinse, ice cold, proper cool down. How much more important is it than just a hot room experience?
Night and day. I don't know how to give it a percentage, but night and day. I mean, you're going from expanding your cells, so we're heating up right now, and a lot of times you're drinking water, you're bringing fluids in, you're bringing alkaline fluids in, which we'll get into next on the benefits of ion minerals. Mm-hmm. But then when you get into the cold plunge, you're shrinking all those cells and they purge waste.
That was our cue to grab some water, and
Yep.
also our cue to talk minerals.
Sounds
And
great.
this is a component about hydration, and a story that I is very personal to me based on my firsthand experience of the power of what hydration really is. So we had a proper cool down, and we did do what I call the clean rinse, the cold shower in our case in my backyard in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, which by the way is a great simple addition to a sauna setup in your backyard. Garden hose, a simple on-off, shut-off, you can get at Home Depot. A remnant hose length, you can get that at Home Depot. And I just use a shower attachment, like a garden spigot, and a couple of tie-down straps or zip ties, and there you go, an outdoor shower on demand. You like it?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's very creative and simple.
Yeah. So minerals. So, what's the definition of hydration?
Well, hydration is a hot topic. Everybody has a philosophy on how much you should have in your body for fluid. But hydration really is about how much nutrients or how many minerals and how much water your cells are actually absorbing.
Yeah. On that score, if we were to walk down the street and ask 10 people what hydration is they're thinking, I would say the most common answer, and I could be wrong, is drinking enough water. Mm-hmm. And that's what I thought it was for many years. I mean, we've shared this story, and I'm really excited to get your input about minerals. But to me, hydration equals water plus the right mineral balance. And I was really lacking that. I mean, I sauna hard, and a typical winter sauna for me in this backyard sauna here would be around this time, like 5 in the afternoon. Maybe I'll come out and have some friends over or whatever, and a couple-hour sauna session. And about 7:30 or so, I work my way back in the house, and I'm hungry, but I'm exhausted, like tired. And so if it's going to be a night where this is Minneapolis, folks, so airplanes. We're only, 15 minutes from the airport? I made the flight the other night.
You did?
Yeah.
That was close.
Yeah, well, I had to get something to eat at the airport because we were at the sauna party together,
Yeah.
and then you put the fear in me. You better go. You're gonna miss the flight. So yeah. So anyhow, so I would fill 32. I would drink like 16, 20 ounces of water. I would fill a 32-ounce jug of water and bring that to sauna, and then sauna, and then fill it again, sauna, and come in wiped out, but a good wiped out. Like all I'd want to do is lay on the couch, Mm-hmm. If Julia said, "Well, hey, we're going to go out to dinner," or "Let's go right in here," if I'd be toast. I mean, I'd be not able to go to a concert or go out to dinner. I'm really just ready for the couch. So when this Finland trip came about, I was on guard because I know how sauna is for me in terms of my stamina, and I give it hard, and I'm usually wiped out. So my goal was one sauna a day. I mean, I could do that. I could gear up for that, hit that sauna, and then limp my way back to the hotel Airbnb and chill, right? Mm-hmm. But when you get to Finland, and it's like a kid in a candy store, I started doubling up days. I thought I could do like 18, 24, but the bottom line is minerals. And I was introduced to minerals in Finland by sauna pros my first day, and I ended up taking 50 saunas in 12 days. I was energized, and I sauna'd hard, each one. Can we speak to minerals? I'll quiet down now, but I had to get my experiential appreciation of what hydration is through this marathon trip in Finland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really common that people have insatiable thirst. Like they just drink and they never feel hydrated. And that's because absorption isn't happening. So you can walk down the street and somebody can have, if you push your finger in on their leg, they'll have an indentation, which shows that actually water isn't being absorbed into their system. They have inflammation and the water is staying extracellular. So there's a difference between intracellular water and extracellular water. And people don't understand that water in doesn't equal water in your cells all the time. So there's a lot that goes on in the body If you have a really acidic environment inside, your body can be wearing water, fat, or calcium around your cells. And when that happens, your body has a really hard time getting nutrients and minerals and water inside the cells.
Almost a barrier or a film kind of thing?
Correct. Yeah, it's like a barrier. So it's called cellular malabsorption.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I have patients come in, they'll say like, I drink, 2 gallons of water a day and I'm still thirsty. And then they go get their water saturation, or the doctors tell them they're dehydrated. And they're like, how could that be possible? And their cells aren't absorbing water. And so this is something that happens pretty frequently in people's bodies. So the ion minerals are an incredible component. And we can go deeper into that some other time.
Sure.
But the ion minerals are an incredible component that I've been bringing every time I sauna. I was like, what are those? So the minerals, the ones that I use, they have 72 trace minerals. Your body has around 90 trace minerals. There's 12 main minerals, and then there's macro and micro minerals that we actually need. And if you're eating a really well-balanced diet that's organic and that's, lots of plants, usually you're getting your proper levels of minerals. But most of us aren't. Most of us has a lot of depletion. And so this is something that you want to include when you're doing sauna. So when you go into an authentic sauna and you're sweating a ton, you're also purging everything that's in your cells. So you are losing minerals. You're losing electrolytes. You hear of it, used to be the Gatorade fad, and now they realize that that's not the greatest. But they were trying to replace electrolytes, and they're trying to replace minerals inside your cells. So the difference when you just take a glass of water inside, maybe you're absorbing, maybe you're not. But then when you add the minerals to it, your cells actually invite it in.
Nice. And break that barrier?
Yeah, so you want to get something that's been tested for its absorption. That's going to be an important component in the minerals that you choose. But the minerals that I use have a 99% absorption rate.
Right.
And there's lots of great minerals around.
Yeah,
and there's little tips and tricks to getting your body to absorb minerals as well.
Right.
But usually it invites in to the cell what
So
you need.
a question on that. So in our house, we have a reverse osmosis system, and that's the water that I had been using. Would system like that pull minerals out of water, or do you know?
It can. I don't know if that they've done a whole lot of testing to see what minerals are left. I mean, tap water, obviously, we have to worry about the runoff from pesticides and herbicides and chlorine, and so tap water really isn't your best option. So reverse osmosis is great, and then just add your minerals in.
That's what I've been doing, and I'm just trying to make an association. Drinking all this water, all this reverse osmosis water, I think I was not getting the right minerals into my system through the excessive sweating through sauna. Seem right? Seem logical?
Yeah, it seems accurate. It makes such a difference. When I would miss my minerals and I would take a sauna, I would notice not only was I hungry when I got home, but I was so thirsty I couldn't eat.
Yes, exactly.
So I would just drink and drink and drink, and then I couldn't get hydrated. But then once I got those minerals in there, it would just satiate my thirst.
I noticed that too. In Finland, I wasn't that hungry. And the interesting thing about my system is that when I'm hungry, I got to eat. I have this, lion thing. I'm on the hunt for food, and I'm angry unless I've eaten. But when I do this sauna protocol with a lot of water and the minerals, your minerals, the ion 5 stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use ion 5, and then I also use ionic elements.
Yes, I'm not as hungry. I'm not as hungry, and maybe it's a great weight loss strategy. I don't know, but usually after sauna, I'm ravenous. Not so much with this protocol.
Yeah, most of the time isn't necessarily hunger coming from your stomach, like your stomach being empty. It's actually your cells sending a signal to your brain that you need nutrients and minerals back inside. So when you're providing all of those minerals and all of that nutrition right into your cell, then your cells goes, oh, I'm good. That's all I needed, actually.
So the signal isn't in your brain. That's really well said. A lot of times, hunger is your mind saying you're hungry, not your stomach, right?
Right. I mean, there's a saying that what your cells think is what your self thinks. So your cells are actually always managing your nutrition levels, and then they send signals to the brain saying we need nutrition. The stomach will, send a signal to the brain when it's empty. But not all the times that just because your stomach's empty means you need to eat. If your cells are satisfied, they have all their minerals, they have all their vitamins and nutrition inside your body, you may not need to eat. It might be a good time to rest. Or you need to eat less
because you're eating a higher vitamin and mineral diet. Is that fair?
Yes. Yep, that's fair. So there's a much difference. I don't pay attention so much to calories. I pay attention to nutrition and how many nutrient-dense foods are in your diet and how many minerals you're getting.
Is this where we want to throw Monsanto under the bus? Is this appropriate time?
Sure.
Let's get that out right now. Why are organic fruits and vegetables so important?
They couldn't be more important right now. And unfortunately, if you're living in the USA, we have very loose regulations on what's organic and certified organic. But Monsanto is, all over all of our crops. So it's the herbicide and pesticide spray that's considered and deemed safe and legal by the United States government. And it's responsible and linked to many cancers and autism and autoimmune disease and bowel diseases and all sorts of things. Everybody you know knows somebody that has something wrong, that has like a bad gut or poor gut health or an autoimmune disease or an unexplained non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is directly related to glyphosate toxicity. So this, the big word is glyphosate. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in this herbicide and pesticide spray, and it's all over our food. It's all over our processed foods. It's all over the wheat. It's all over the organic fruits and veggies. You can have an organic field right next to a non-organic field, and it's still considered organic, even though they're drone spraying and the wind can carry it over. So we are in a really serious time where people are saying, I don't get it. I eat good. I don't feel good. So what is it? People from other countries say they come here and they notice a big difference with the way our produce tastes compared to the rest of the world. And that's a lack of minerals in our soil. And so this Monsanto seed and this GMO seed and all the herbicide and pesticide spray is demineralizing our soil.
Right. And agribusiness too, this non-rotation of crops. There's a lot of studies about the health. I started reading a lot about this after our chat a little while ago. And there's just some simple reasons that we're talking decades of degradation of soil. Not allowing native plants, weeds and all that to hold the moisture. So we're getting this dried out mixed soil, so to speak, I guess. Anything more to that about this agribusiness and growing our crops?
Big agri is really hard. I mean, we get where it came from. It came from a profit ratio and making money and how to make more crop faster. But what we're realizing is that we're losing our nutrition and our health in the process. But like weeds are important. Weeds aren't weeds. They're actually like herbs. They're plants. Like dandelions are super good for cancer and diabetes and for the nervous system healing. And like burdock root and all these things that would naturally grow would be mineralizing the soil. So these are things that we're losing in the process. And through the herbicide and pesticide spray, when you take out the elements that the plants need, they aren't carrying those minerals like they normally would.
Right.
So we're eating kind of nutrient-less food.
So all the more reason, unfortunately, for mineral supplements, but these are all natural, the liquid supplement. You put how many drops in the
10 drops.
Yeah. So this is just a reality of today. We need this mineral replenishment through drops. We're not getting it even in, if we're eating well, like you do, you may not have the need for the minerals as much. Do you take them every day anyway, or?
I take 10 every day. If I'm doing sauna, I take 30.
Nice. Explain that. Walk us through. So 10 drops, it's a sauna day. Walk us through the sessions of mineral drops.
Yeah, so my first mineral drops are always just in the morning. It's like a wake up, a check, like make sure I've got everything that I need. A lot of times lack of minerals will contribute to slow bowels as well. You'll hear of a lot of people saying that they have digestive issues, so they're on a CalMag, calcium magnesium supplement, and that seems to help them. So the minerals are just great to just add in. So every morning. So
in the morning.
Yeah,
I wake up. Are you cool here? Are we cooled down? Do you want to?
I'm cooled down.
We'll hot round it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's sauna day in the morning. Well, why don't we walk through the whole spectrum in your diet? You have a real, let's layer the diet into the program. So you wake up. Is first thing the minerals, 10 drops of minerals with a glass of water?
Or first thing is actually 10 drops of minerals with a glass of water with some lemon juice, and I actually take 5 amino acid capsules with it.
Okay, then what?
And then I actually fast for quite a while. I fast until I'm hungry.
Yeah, it can vary.
Yeah, it can vary. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock, sometimes it's noon, sometimes it's 1 o'clock.
Then what happens?
Then I move into fresh organic fruit. I usually try to do something like organic watermelon, something that's really hydrating, full of electrolytes, that I know my body's going to be reaching for that hydration first. Before I go to anything savory, salty, I'm always bringing organic fresh fruit into my body. It's a very astringent cleanser. It cleans the lymphatic system and helps smooth bowels.
I know. You are a watermelon nut. Every time we do the sauna thing, do you add any lime or anything to your watermelon, or just straight up?
I just eat the watermelon straight, but when I juice it, I do watermelon, ginger, and lime together.
Just those three?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
It is wonderful. I'm jumping around. Is the watermelon juice, the Carrie special, is that a mainstay for our sauna sessions, the ones that we're building?
Yeah, I think it is, and everybody gravitates towards it too, and it feels so good in your body. And it's filled with 97% water, but it's water that's packed with nutrition and electrolytes, so you're just replenishing.
So that's call it midday. You get into some. You go right into fruits, nothing salty or no carbs yet. You're just having some fruits. Then what?
Mm-hmm. Then I often have, actually it's an organic superfood shake. It's called a power shake.
Okay.
And it's beyond organic. It's 12 servings of fruits and vegetables. And the owners actually of this little company are all about organic plant nutrition that's untouched soil. So the farm is like hundreds of miles away from any other industrialization. There's green minerals in the soil. Yeah. They use ion minerals and green manure in the soil.
Fabulous. And what is the product itself? What do you is it a powder? I mean, what?
Yeah, it's a powder. It's called the Power Shake.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you?
No. So we'll keep it top line, but we can dive into it. We'll come back around to it. So you make yourself a shake, basically. Is there protein in this?
Yeah, so this is actually 12 servings of fruits and vegetables per glass.
Okay.
So it's really more of a fruit and vegetable shake. It has 8 grams of protein that's naturally occurring from the plants. Spirulina, chlorella, loganberry, apple, alfalfa leaf juice, etc. So it's just a really superfood shake. It's like making sure you've gotten everything in. Yeah. And I'm in my office with patients most of the time, back to back. I don't really have time to sit down and eat a salad or to get in, 12 servings of organic plant nutrition.
Fabulous. So no other additives besides the serving of this powdered drink, and you shake it up.
Yep,
and
shake it up some water or coconut water, and off I go.
Fabulous. And when does the second dose of 10 drops of Ion 5 in water, it's sauna day, when does that second dose come in?
The second dose comes in before the sauna. So later afternoon, before the sauna.
Now, will you, staying with the chronology, will you have eaten or drinking anything after the shake and before sauna?
Yes. So after the shake, usually the shake's around noon or 1 o'clock, I'll have some fruits and some more aminos before sauna.
Interesting.
So I might have like a banana, something that has more potassium, so I'm looking more towards minerals again. And then I'll have 5 amino acids. And so I'm supporting all of the necessary amino acids so that my body's muscle is supported and that my body moves into a fat burning mode versus a muscle burning mode.
Fabulous. So you show up to sauna, your second dose of, how many ounces of water with the mineral drops?
I mean, 10 ounces, 8 ounces is fine. You know, you tend to have more water in sauna than not. So.
And we're always very good about providing water for people, and everybody's really great about filling their water bottles. Will you bring a water bottle, or?
I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot
I know.
today.
Wait, but we're sharing water, and it's totally awesome. And I'm getting thirsty I'm getting aware of hydration when we talk so much. I'm looking for the water bottle, but I feel great. I'm ahead of the program. I'm much aligned with you. 2 doses, you sauna, okay? And you tell us about your sauna routine, like how many sauna rounds, cycles. Well, I know you're very busy and scheduled, but a sauna session for you, from start to finish, how many hours, how long, how many cycles, anything in terms of optimal, like what do you strive for?
Well, optimal would be 90 minutes to 2 hours if you've got it. I mean, if you've got the time, do it. But don't let that defeat you from ever doing it. 1 round is still good. You're still making change. You're still sweating. You're still getting one of that top layers off of the skin and helping your skin look younger longer as well.
And your hair. What were we talking about your hair that one time on the bench?
Yeah, we were. About your hair and the health of the oils in your hair and sweating through the scalp helps hair growth. Stagnation in the lymphatic system and in the scalp will eliminate hair growth.
I mean, I don't get dandruff much
if at all, and I don't shampoo much, if at all. And I think it's the natural oils being released through sauna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your hair will grow consistently as well. Yeah.
So it's a couple hours. You've enjoyed a great sauna session. Then what? Like, what's next for you in terms of diet or hydration?
So then I'll have, like, I usually actually hack open a Thai coconut, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have like 12 in my fridge at all times. So if you have an Asian market anywhere near you, they're usually $1.25, $1.69, something like that. Hack a coconut open or get a coconut water. And I'll have a coconut water with some minerals right after sauna.
And that's your third dose then?
That's my third dose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How about food? What would be
Then I would move into a large green meal.
Nice.
Something very grounding and filled with like more of that earth big minerals like calcium and iron and just getting some of the phosphorus in your body. So spinach and arugula and alfalfa sprouts, which are muscle builders. So I'm really getting in and supporting my system.
How about quinoa?
Yeah, quinoa is a complete protein. It's awesome for you.
You know, it's a leading question. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're sitting here on the sauna bench. We were attending this conference, and Carrie was, in addition to all of your work, you're also a caterer. I mean, like, you need another, I should call you Slash in terms of all of your positions, but I can understand maybe and put your own words on this, but catering for you, I could see it as such a logical extension because if people, I feel you really have a mission to help people eating well and providing them with a real example, like this is how you should eat, and making them great food. I can see the joy in you, and I know the love in the product, because that quinoa salad is incredible. Is that one of your go-tos?
It's a really easy go-to. Yeah, I would say for larger events, it's an easy go-to. Everybody loves it. Our goal and mission with events is to actually not draw attention to everything that we're doing being plant-based, organic, soy-free, corn-free, gluten-free, We just don't draw attention to it. We just serve good, whole, organic food. And we let people dish up, and they come up and they ask questions like, what is this? This is amazing. And then you explain to them everything that they ate. And they're like, oh, does this have dairy? It must have dairy. People were convinced that our soup had carrot, ginger, pumpkin seed soup had dairy in it. Didn't have anything, just a little bit of coconut milk. Yeah. So we love that element of surprise, like teaching people that like actually eating organic from the plants is delicious and obtainable.
Anything else in your day after the meal, after sauna?
Well, it depends on the day. Sometimes I like myself a piece of vegan chocolate, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well, geez, I was hoping you were going to say a cheeseburger.
Oh, no.
Hit the pizza. Yeah. So no protein and no carbs in a perfect day for Carrie?
Yeah, in a perfect day for me, I stick to all of the natural amino acids that come from fruits and vegetables. Yeah. In addition to, I'm taking a superfood shake. So I'm getting aminos there. I do take on sauna days, like when I leave here, I'll probably take a love meal, which is 20 grams of sprouted organic plant protein. So it's not just like pea protein or hemp protein. It's actually 40 different vegetables and seeds that are sprouted, and they have adaptogenic herbs. So my nervous system just feels so grounded and so supported when I'm done.
Is this in powder form? Or?
It is, yeah. And I used to be kind of anti-product. Like I was always like, just eat from the earth and let the herbs heal you. And I still believe in that. But we are in a different time now. Yeah. We're in a different time where organic doesn't mean much, and there's a lot of chemicals and a lot of nutrient deficient soil, and we're seeing that in our food. And I felt my own energy declining.
Yes. We have to sort of adapt to the time in which we live, and I would say that you nailed it with that. So that's a day in the life of Carrie in terms of hydration as well as nutrition. What about what is it?
Glyphosate.
Yeah. Tell us about glyphosate.
So that's what's that's what's in the Roundup crop. That's what's in our herbicide and pesticide spray, and it's related directly to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and several autoimmune diseases that we discussed a little bit earlier. There's actually quite a lot going on with the Bayer Monsanto lawsuits right now, and a lot of research going on what it's actually doing to our health as we're seeing this come into fruition as, it's been around long enough that people are having chronic disease from it.
Right on. One last plug or note. Not all mineral supplements are created equal. We were talking about the importance of really understanding not just where good food comes from, but where good mineral supplements come from, right? Mm-hmm. And that has to do with absorption rates primarily?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. When you go into a grocery store, you're looking at, superfoods. Of course, you always want to get organic. Certified organic doesn't always mean a whole lot in the U.S., so you do want to really research the company. What are their practices? What are their reviews? All of those screens of, you know, what's in the soil and what's in their chemical profile is all public information.
Right.
So something can say certified organic and not be good, but you really want to look at how it's grown, where it's grown, how close they are to other fields. And you also want to look at if they're heated. So if their stuff is heated over 108 degrees, you actually break the minerals. And so you break the digestive enzymes and you lose about 70% of the nutrition in the product. So a lot of times when you get an organic superfood, quote unquote, you will see it's really dried out. It looks dry. It doesn't look really alive. You might not even notice any difference. Like, I take this expensive superfood powder every day, but I don't notice.
Right.
So what's different is they're not all created equally. They are, you know, how are they harvested? Are they wind dried or slow dehydrated at a low temperature to have all of their nutrition? That's really important. And then with minerals as well, you want to look at the absorption rate. So have they done testing on the absorption? Have they done testing on your superfoods? How much is actually being brought inside of a cell? So the products that I work with specifically have, you know, between a 90 to a 97% absorption rate, which is extremely high.
Right on. I'm going to try to put some links on the show notes for those listening on Carrie, the products that Carrie has researched and recommends most. Primarily minerals and the powder.
So I like the ionic elements a lot for the minerals, and then, you know, the Power Shake is amazing for the organic sprouted superfoods. That's really isolated from a small farm. And then I use a product called Biome Medic, and that's a really powerful one that is recently really enhanced my practice. Usually when you're trying to remove waste from the bowels, you have to do some intensive juice fasting or drinking charcoals and clays and, you know, things like enemas and colonics, which is not fun. No one wants to do that. So I've been working closely with a product called Biome Medic that actually removes glyphosate right off the bowels. 75% of it is removed in 6 weeks, and that was studied by the Detox Project.
So using that product shortens the healing cycle or the healing time for your patients?
Exactly. Like they get where they need to go so much faster.
Right.
And a lot of times absorption just isn't cellular absorption, it's also absorption in your gut. So if you have this plaque built up in your gut, then the microvilli on your intestine are lodged on this plaque and they can't come out and absorb nutrition. So when we're able to remove the plaque, then with the microvilli come out, they absorb nutrition again, and then this feeling of insatiable hunger will go away.
Sauna. So on to sauna on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
What were you doing? Where would you sauna before we met? Like, what was your where were you going to sauna and stuff?
Well, unfortunately, the only sauna I could do was at a fitness center.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got a membership just for sauna, and
Really?
it was dry sauna.
What, and there was a sign, no water on the rocks?
Right, no water on the rocks, and, you know, it's not the same. So I would actually bring a water bottle in and throw it all over the floor so that I could get some humidity in there and, you know, start to elevate the heat.
So that's good. That's a compliment to you, Carrie. I thought for sure you were going to say I bring a water bottle in there when no one's around, I douse the rocks.
Oh, I do that too.
Okay, good.
But when people are around, I throw it on the floor.
Oh, that's you are so politically correct. That's wonderful. I love that. Yeah, you're abiding by the rules, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that, you know, there's something to that. I mean, hey, so a sauna without rocks is not a sauna, and a sauna without rocks where one cannot toss water on the rocks is still not a sauna.
Mm-hmm.
But you were quite resourceful. You could even douse the walls and get some hydration.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So you would at the health club, you would have some gymnastics about trying to hydrate in the hot room as best you could, and then you'd be done with the sauna round, and then what?
Then I would go right into the shower. I would take a cold shower, and then I'd go back in. So I would do 3 or 4 rounds there.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So we met at what was the conference where we?
Minnesota Yoga Life Magazine Winter Wellness Retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you knew that a wood-burning sauna pulled up, I could see your eyes. I mean, you brightened right up. And then when I saw you opening the jars of in the lunch with quinoa and fresh fruit salads, then my eyes lit up, and our friendship was established.
It was, yeah, that was the moment. And all I could think about all day was, I hope I can get out to that sauna before they pack up.
Yeah.
I have had experience in authentic wood-burning saunas before, and when I teach healing retreats, I always go somewhere that has a sauna, and one of my favorite retreats was in Bocas Islands, Panama. and we had a barrel wood-fired sauna, and we would run from the sauna into the ocean and back and forth. So when I came home, I felt just crushed that I didn't have that experience anymore, and I got my gym membership, and sadly enough, just started pouring water on the floor. But it does not even come close to comparing.
Yeah. How would you compare the difference? This sauna, call it the health club sauna experience, and then this wood-fired sauna experience that we're doing. I mean, you're very sensitive person. You're very in tune to how things affect your body and your mind and all that. Put it in words a little bit about the difference that you're experiencing now with sauna compared to the health club.
Well, there's a lot of differences. On the physiological level, it's more so that you could feel this, like, your skin was getting hot, but you weren't really, like, heating up from the inside. There wasn't this humidity that was
like
helping
a toaster
your skin.
feeling.
Yeah. It felt like you were in a toaster oven. And, like, from anything you don't want your organs getting hot, but you want your skin being able to eliminate waste. And it would take a really long time to get to a sweat. And so the humidity in the room is really beneficial to allowing your pores to open up and to, not feeling so zapped after a sauna as well.
Got it. How about ventilation? Do you notice a difference there with the air, the freshness or the different air experience?
It's very dry. So it's very dry air. You almost feel like dry mouth, like your eyes are dried out when you get out of there. The wood is even dry. Yeah, so it's definitely like in a
health club environment.
Correct.
Yeah. How about our environment, the wood-fired, the saunas we're taking lately? How is the ventilation or the air feel different there?
It's incredible. It never has even an odor or a smell. It's just so fresh. You can smell that there's water in the wood, and that you can smell the cedar, and it just feels great. Like it feels like you're in a humid environment. So you don't feel like that dried out feeling. It's just much different, and especially when you can breathe in the steam into your lungs. It's super healing to open up the lower lobes of the lungs and to clean out and expand your lung capacity as well. So, sometimes in sauna you can actually use essential oils and things to like open up and heal your lungs too. So it's just so many benefits to having a steam, water on the rocks, wood-fired sauna.
Lovely. How about the cool down itself? We're juxtaposing this hit the health club shower, maybe back in by the pool, internal air, to what we're doing now. This outside, the fresh air and the coolness. Miles different.
Yeah.
Right?
Miles different. Yeah. I mean, it just feels very like disconnected too on a community level also. You're in a dry, kind of stale environment. Smells like a chlorine pool. You're at the club, and you don't want to jump into a chlorine pool after sauna. You don't want to
it's sort of like maybe the difference between a shopping mall and a hike in the woods.
Exactly. It's just not the same. So the earth elements that you get and the community that happens on the bench is totally different.
Right. Yeah. So it's been a big difference for you, this authentic sauna that we're dealing with, and you're a big fan. I mean, there's a couple of things I noticed about sauning with you, Carrie. Is number one is you can hang in the hot room. You're no stranger to sauna. I can tell you're conditioned. You have a long session in the hot room. Also, you're really busy, but you make time for sauna.
It's a priority for me. Yeah. I do make time. I know how much, how many benefits it is. I think we put a lot of weight in how much we move and how much we work out and how much we do. And actually, you can get the equivalent of running for an hour or two by doing a sauna session with your cardiovascular health.
Thank you.
So you may not get the physical muscular benefits. So yes, of course, do your push-ups, do your planks, do your workouts if you're achieving muscle stamina. But when you're done at the end of the day and your body's tired, do a sauna instead of going for a run.
You got time for one more sauna round?
Let's do it.
Cool, let's hit it. Any other thoughts on the nutritional side of things? I mean, you've been really great for us to not get too. You kept it really. You kept it out there for the layman. I think you got deep in the woods in a very technical way, but I commend you. You kept things very easy for us to understand. So thank you. Mm-hmm. Is there any other input that you may want to have on the nutritional side? We really covered a lot of bases. Mm-hmm. I don't have any other questions in that arena. Is there anything we missed?
The only thing I really look at is, the balance. A lot of people don't understand why they have dehydration or, what acidity would do in the body. But so I look at living on the alkaline side of the fence. And when you talk about chemistry, there's acids versus alkalinity. And acids are corrosive and they burn tissues and cells.
Yeah.
And alkalinity is something that...
That's good, right? Yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Keep talking. I'm going to add a little bit of drops on you were talking about essences. A good buddy of mine gave me this flavor, so I needed two hands. You're holding the mic.
You got it.
Alkalinity. Keep going.
Yeah, so alkalinity is what heals and hydrates your body, and acidity is what puts us into precancerous states or damaged tissues and cells.
Wow.
So, I live by an 80-20 rule. 80% of what I put in my body is alkaline and 20% is acidic. So, during the weekdays, I really strive to be on an alkaline diet. I stick to all organic fruits and vegetables, and maybe on the weekends I have Thai food and a glass of wine, right?
Perfect.
So
Wonderful.
you want to have balance in your life, but
and those we could call them cheat moments, but I don't think eating a great Thai meal and a glass of wine is a cheat at all. I think you've earned it, right?
Oh, totally. It's not, and don't even think about it as a cheat because that gets to be an unhealthy pattern.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
Yeah, thinking of it as you're trying to maintain an alkaline balance in your life, and we are an alkaline species. That's our primate type. Our species type is primates, which means that we have to maintain around a 7.4 pH in our system at all times. So if the majority of what we're eating is acidic foods that are pHs of 1, 2s, and 3s, we can expect to have a more acidic and sick environment inside.
Wim Hof, been on he's a fellow Sauna Talk guest, talks a lot about alkalinity, and through the Wim Hof method and deep breathing, super oxygenating the cells in your body, and then the cold showers, your body becomes more alkaline.
Absolutely.
Makes sense?
Yeah,
Why is that?
So, 70% of waste, period, from your cells is actually eliminated through breath, and 30% is eliminated through water, feces, or urine, feces, or sweat. So it's really powerful. The sweating on this level is powerful, but breath is even more powerful. So I actually do 5 minutes of breath work every day. Right. Every morning when I rise, I do 5 minutes of breath work.
What does that look like for you? Okay. What does that look like for you?
So, how long, how often?
Yeah, about 5 minutes. You can even do a couple of breaths. Tell us your methodology for deep breathing.
So for deep breathing, I actually do it right when I wake up in the morning, and I like to sometimes elevate myself up on a couple of pillows so I'm not laying flat on my back. You want to be careful when you start doing deep breath that you're not just breathing up into your chest and creating hyperventilation. So the goal is not to feel lightheaded, not to be dizzy. It's deep diaphragmatic breath. So you're breathing into the lower lobes of your lungs. Your belly should be rising when you breathe.
Can you give us 3 breaths right now?
Yeah, so this breath is actually something that's called soul breathing.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily Wim Hof version, but I've done a lot of Wim Hof breathing. I like all breath. All breath is good. So there's never one better than another. They're all great. They all do different things. The one I'm most comfortable and well versed in is something called soul breathing, and that allows your body to really get deep into the cell level. And so you really inhale as big as you can, as expansive as you can. And so if you think of pulling a bow and arrow back as far as you can, and you wouldn't just slowly let it out, or the thing would just fall on the ground. Your arrow would just fall on the ground. So a lot of times we do that. We control our breath. We're controlling the breath with the diaphragm. And so what you really want to do is fill all the way up, and then just let the diaphragm drop. Like you let that arrow go.
Couple?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to lead, or just do one and I'll do the second one?
So we'll inhale. I like to keep an open mouth. And when you're a brand new breather, you might want to use the sound PA sound on the way out, and it'll help you just drop the breath. So It sounds like this.
What am I trying to do?
So you're trying to have less movement. So if you actually, you don't want your chest lifting up and down at all. You actually want your belly going out. So put your hand over your abdomen. Take a big inhale. On your inhale, there you go. On your inhale, your belly should go out instead of your chest going up.
No chest movement.
No chest movement.
So about 5 minutes of this for you in the morning.
Yeah, so 5 minutes of this for the morning is way better than 7 cups of coffee.
Wow. Will you hold it? Will you hold or will you hold the breath or just
Sometimes.
will you count breaths and stop and rest? Or?
Yeah, I do about, it's called like 100 breaths to joy.
Okay.
A good breath facilitator. Her name is Carrie Peterson. She's the one that introduced me to this style of breath, but I do this like continuous flow of breath. Like there's this concept of the way you breathe is the way you live.
Okay.
A deep conscious and connected breath equals a deep conscious and connected life. And so if you can breathe through all things, you'll be better off. But yes, there is a point at which you can actually take your biggest breath in. If you're noticing that you're getting short of breath or you're wanting to stop breathing, your breathing's getting more shallow, you can take a big inhale and then just hold your breath.
Yeah,
hold as
on the
long
inhale.
as you can.
On the inhale. Okay.
And then you hold it. You'll be surprised how long you can hold it.
Yep.
And then you just let it out.
So
and then you
Yep.
and go right back into the breath.
As you know, with the Wim Hof method, for the first 3 weeks, it's hold on the inhale, and then it becomes hold on the exhale. Theory being that CO2 is a you want it out of your system.
Exactly.
Yeah. So will you ever hold on the exhale, or do you like to?
I do. Yeah. So after this is for well-experienced breathers. You really want to get into a breath pattern first of just being able to consistently breathe without hyperventilation. Then you want to work on the expansion. How long can you hold in your breath and expand your lungs?
And why is that important?
Well, it's important because you actually, when you're hyperventilating, you're changing the chemicals in your brain.
Thank you.
So you can pass out. You can create this like euphoric high, like you've done drugs, when you haven't. So the goal is not hyperventilation ever. It's deep diaphragmatic breath where you're bringing more oxygen into your cells than less.
And that's back to the parallel with Wim Hof is when holding on the exhale, you're actually supercharging all of your cells with oxygen, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you're purging all of the carbon dioxide and all of the waste out of your cells. And then when you take that big breath in, all the oxygen floods back in.
Right. And would it open pathways?
Absolutely. So many pathways. So breathwork is a really powerful piece of healing, no matter what you're healing from. Breathwork in every day is just really beneficial to overall vitality and life force.
Back to sauna. Okay, great. Is that all right?
Yeah, please.
So we're, just to update listeners, through Stockyard Outfitters, 4700 Nicollet Avenue South, Carrie and I have really lent our hand with each of our expertise in helping develop this urban sauna installation where folks can reserve a spot through Carrie, wisewellness.net, and reserve a bench spot. Come over for great sauna, and you mentioned about the community aspect, a great, growing great tribe of people that are enjoying this experience. Are we doing yoga and are we doing breath work? I know we're enjoying watermelon, lime, and
ginger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime weather permits, we're doing yoga beforehand. About 40 minutes, 45 minutes of yoga, wrapping it up with some breath work. If there isn't time for yoga, we're actually going to start doing breath work and meditation in the sauna. Yeah. So just light breath work, we don't want anybody passing out, of course. But yeah, so we just come over for community and collaboration, yoga, breath work, and superfoods. We always have fresh watermelon. We always have watermelon, ginger, lime juice. I always have superfood shakes there. And and aminos as well, your amino acids. So you'll notice the difference of one round of sauna to the next as you start to bring in these elements of support.
And this is what makes this collaboration just so timely and wonderful for me is the missing link for me, proper hydration and nutrition, is being fulfilled thanks to Carrie and her contribution to the sauna experience. It's been so valuable. There's no better word. It's been really valuable for me to bring this into my sauna practice. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cool. We got a few more questions. I thought maybe what we'll do is I'll ask a rapid fire question right now. The two saunas over at 4700 that were wood-fired are mobile, and it's with custom mobile saunas. We're having a great time. We're building saunas for others. We're taking sauna on the road. Carrie, if you could have a mobile sauna and bring it anywhere in the world, what's the first place that comes to mind?
Anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
sauna.
Well, anywhere by a body of cold water.
Okay,
period.
So we're narrowing that down. That's good. Yeah. You want to keep it open and say anything north of the 43rd parallel, or is there a certain spot that comes to mind? We can come back to it.
I think Lake Superior would be incredible.
Very
if you're
good.
looking for Minnesota, that's like a true plunge.
Yeah.
Obviously wear life jackets, but a true cold, warm plunge would be something like Lake Superior if I was thinking local. If I'm thinking global, I would think like Jamaica, the sea, you know, a sauna right in front of the cold sea and just jumping in and getting that salt water to clean your skin.
Beautiful.
So there's nothing like an ocean.
Nothing like an ocean, agreed. You know, I was out in Southern California and they, you know, the water out there in the Pacific can be quite chilly, and the real hardy surfers are surfing, you know, without their, you know, their whole garb on, and yet you see some surfers out there, you know, just in a bathing suit, and those are the kind of surfers I'm attracted to, because I think it'd be wonderful to have a mobile sauna, you know, by the shores of the ocean and the Pacific for surfers. You know, hit about 6-8 waves, come on in, take a sauna round.
Well, and with that sauna round, they're also purging lactic acid out of their muscle tissue. So it's incredible post-workout, especially post-intensive training, you know, to really get some of that lactic acid pushed out and getting minerals and hydration flooded in.
Totally. And so the question did not come lightly, because Carrie, if you could tell listeners what your travels are looking like for the next 6 months or so, how much more travel will you be doing in the next few months and where?
Quite a lot. So October 30, we head out to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And we'll actually be staying downtown Malaysia and hiking the Buddhist temples and just seeing the mountains and the highlands, and then also spending time in the Petronas Towers and just seeing the city. So we'll spend about 3 days there. And then we're flying over to Denpasar, Bali, and we'll be making our way through Bali, through Seminyak and Sanur, and then into Uluwatu, Bali, where we're going to have a saltwater infinity pool in the rice fields looking over the ocean.
Is this the same trip or a separate trip?
It's the same trip. We're bringing people in through Malaysia, just a fun trick. It's about $500 to fly to Malaysia and about $1,200 to fly to Bali.
So it's a nice little trick.
Yeah, it's like you make up your extra time in, you know, you get to see a whole other country. So we'll be going into Bali and then spending 8 nights, 9 days there, and then we're actually flying just a half-hour flight over to Lombok Island, Indonesia, and we'll visit the black sand beaches and we'll hike the waterfalls, and we're doing some sauna there, and then we'll be flying over to Thailand after that. So that's our upcoming retreat.
Okay.
Then we have December's Jamaica.
Okay.
That's more of a luxury vacation, but they have one of the best steam rooms I've ever been in, so that's my substitute for sauna while I'm there.
And how many days is that excursion?
It's 7 nights, 8 days, December 3rd through the 10th.
Before Christmas.
Yeah,
Do you want to hit the shower and then we'll talk about the next one? Yeah, so you can think on this. I'll ask you the question as you shower down. If you could sauna with anybody in the world, like dead, alive, past, present, is there someone that comes to mind that you in this, you know, this perfect world of sauna that you would like to sit on the bench and visit with?
Well, if you say dead or alive, of course I would bring my dad back because he's an amazing human and loved sauna. So I would say my dad, but I would also say Wim Hof would be incredible because he's just highly intelligent and impressive with what he's done with his body, with breath work, and he just gets it. So I think it would be very inspiring to be able to be on the bench with Wim Hof.
Our goal is to make this real. Part of the Sauna Research Center is to bring in the pros, those that are really in tune to what you and I know as being great, and let's make that real.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I saunaed with Wim, but we were on a beach in Jamaica talking about that. Yeah, that was where we sauna talked, and I concur. It would be wonderful to bring him over, and the cool thing about Wim is he's like yourself in that he's knowledgeable, but he doesn't beat it over anybody's head, and he likes to have fun.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and that's the best way, you know. It's just to create curiosity and share tools if you have them.
What do you think about we talked about your history with sauna and, you know, the health club, the graduation, the understanding of this great sauna that we're experiencing with the great heat, wood-fired, great ventilation, proper cool downs. What do you think is most misunderstood about sauna, like maybe even relative to your patients when part of your protocol is to prescribe sauna? What do you think is most misunderstood by those not as familiar with sauna as you or I or many of our listeners?
Well, I think that some people think that they have to be healthy to be in, like at a certain level of health, or like that it can't benefit them, or they don't like heat. They're like, oh, heat makes me feel sick.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that the reason the heat is making them feel sick is because their internal environment is acidic.
Yeah.
And so that heat is really bothering them. But the heat is actually exactly what they need to
Right.
get some of the acids out.
Yeah. What do you advise for patients with that mental resistance to sauna? How do you help guide them through the introduction of sauna?
I encourage them to do shorter and smaller rounds. Go meet your body where it's at. Never
Yeah.
go too hard or too far. Take a 2-minute round. Take
Yeah.
a 5-minute round if you need to, and take frequent breaks. But sweating is so important for
Yeah.
your endocrine system, for your
Yeah.
lymphatic system, and overall the ability to sweat is a sign of a healthy thyroid as well.
Thank you. Low bench. There's no harm, right?
Yeah, get on the ground.
Yeah.
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 The lower bench is less hot. The ground is cool. I bring my baby in
Yeah.
on the ground,
Yep.
and I'm always on the top, and then my younger kids will be on the bottom bench.
Right. There's no harm in that at all. It's wherever you're comfortable and however long you're comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We've been doing great about providing great heat and great steam to your patients, to our guests, to sauna. And I think people are really digging it. Have you heard some feedback from some of your patients?
People love it. Like, they love it. They're like, I can't believe this is here. It almost feels like, it's such a unique space, 4700. It really feels like you're in a different country and you're in the middle of the city,
Yes.
just a couple minutes from your house.
Right.
But yeah, people just love the community. They love the wood fire. They're just like, it's so great. That's all everybody says. So great. So great. They can't wait to come back.
Yeah. Do you find that people like the free-form approach to sauna, meaning when you're hot you leave, when you're cold you go in, or do you think that people are reaching for and want structure, meaning like in the office environment, it's this deal where everybody goes in together and you stick it out and water's introduced and you're really discouraged to leave until that process is over. Which one, given the extremes, what about your patients and what are they like?
I think absolutely not having a guided sauna. I think that sauna is, everyone's different. It's not one size fits all. Everybody has a different level of health. Everybody has a different level of heat capacity.
Yeah.
You can't, I think forcing people to be in a structured environment will make them feel almost scared to go in. Like, what if I'm the person that has to leave early? And that's not what we're here to do. We're here to meet people where they're at and give them good heat and help them heal and just have fun.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the office thing is kind of interesting, but it was so interesting for me to be in Finland where there's such a level of freedom to sauna. There is, when in the hot room, when you're hanging around and you're all sitting in the hot room, when you leave, you just go. There is no, I'm going to go cool down now. It's just, there's a silent understanding of the freedom of sauna that I value so much as well. There is this wonderful, since we're on the subject, this wonderful respect toward lolu, or the steam that's created from water being tossed on rocks, and that generally speaking, when someone enters the sauna, and these are in pro saunas, like at the Finnish Sauna Society and all that, the etiquette is such that when one enters the hot room, they will ask those in the room, would you like me to make lolu? And in Finnish, and then the people on the bench will say yay or nay, often yay, yeah, and then water's tossed on the rocks, nobody talks. It's a silent moment. It's a spiritual moment that as the steam rolls, and then after the person entering, after they'll throw water on the rocks and stuff, they'll quietly put the spoon back in the bucket and make their way onto the bench, and there they'll sit, and there'll be some quiet conversation and this and that, and then invariably one or two people will leave and and this is the flow. This is, and then another person comes in. Would anyone like water on the rocks? I mean, it's incredible. It's the symphony. It's a symphony of movement and freedom that I really love.
Yeah,
in sauna.
I couldn't agree more with that. I think if nobody feels like they have to stay long, or we all just come and go, and the conversation picks up with new people and comes down, and then there's moments of beautiful quiet, and I really like the authentic freedom and flow in the sauna that we have at 4700. Yeah, it's nice.
There's a great social element when there's a good number of people where a conversation can begin, it will end naturally, and then a new conversation can begin, and that ends naturally, and then the whole theater kind of can be revisited outside in a cool down environment where, oh yeah, I meant to tell you blah 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 blah, or you know what we were talking about in the sauna, and then it can pick up again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of community and collaboration happening there and on the bench, and just like it's funny to see like how intertwined we are. I mean, every time I go to a sauna event, I run into somebody that I didn't know I knew somebody else that was I'm close to. Like, you know, it just happened the other night that she knew one of my good friends in Hawaii, and you know, it's just we're all connected, and it's a really great place to just be casual. Yeah. You know,
be casual and free, yet also be very in tune to your body. Very in tune. You got one more in you, or are we good?
I'm cold. Yeah, I got one more.
Yeah. Okay. So, and this is quite. So we can wrap it up, Carrie, and I appreciate your time. Let's see. I had one more. Mobile sauna. We talked about that. We're going to talk about. So, Carrie, we talked about what your day is like with sauna as it related to nutrition and hydration. What's your favorite part? You wake up and you know it's a sauna day. As you think about the full day, from the thinking of it to the arriving, to stepping in for your first round, the first Lulu experience, the first cool down, the whole game. Even when you're done with sauna, and when you talked about your meal, you know, what's your favorite part of that whole experience?
That's beautiful to think about. I get really excited when I have sauna days, and I actually will structure my day differently. I will actually eat more astringent fruits during the day so that I'm in a deeper cleanse mode. So I'm encouraging my body to get into a deeper level of detoxification before a sauna, and then afterwards I'm getting into, you know, nourishment and grounding.
Yeah.
But there is an aspect of meditation as well that comes involved with sauna, and one of the nice things of when you have, you know, just a couple people, you can get really quiet and set intentions and just like let your body like be really in tune with what's happening in your body, and how often are you really in tune with your body, how much are you in your mind versus just like fully in your body and listening to my body's hot now, I need to get out, my body's cool, I need to get back in, you know. So I just really love like the quietness that happens in the mind and the detoxification that happens in the mind and in the body.
So would you say then your favorite part would be in the hot room?
I think
basically?
so.
Okay.
Yeah. In the hot room, and like feeling that limit too. Like feeling like this is as much as I can handle, and then honoring that, and then hopping out, and just really getting in tune with your body and in tune with respecting the heat and what it's offering.
Yeah. Thank you. Any final words to listeners? So Sauna Talk, it's been great. It's growing like crazy. I think the Finland trip and being a maniac over there got some attention, and a lot of people are chiming in and want further questions answered, and those listening are welcome to ask through Sauna Times in this podcast. You can just go on Sauna Times, ask Carrie a question, or reach out to her directly, wisewellness.net. Please do. Please reach back for us. What else would you like anyone listening to know? We're sauna nuts, just like you. Yeah. Any other insights, thoughts, ideas, or are we in a good spot?
Well, I would just say overall that whatever you're dealing with, like, you can get through it, and like your body is designed to heal when it's given the right environment. And that's my passion, is to help people heal from regenerating degenerative conditions like autoimmune and cancer, and the sauna is absolutely a vital part in that. So encourage yourself to build one, buy one, get to one, whatever you can do, 3 times a week at least is great. But just like always, just do your best to show up for yourself.
Right on. Enjoy the sauna, huh?
Yes, and enjoy the sauna all the days. Yeah.